Wait a minute, that's not one of the sinners! Hey, welcome back to more Limbus Company. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time we fought the distorted Heathcliff. Ooh, now we can actually view the logs of whatever. And this time we'll be continuing on with Canto 6, because there's still more stuff to go on, obviously. You guys might want to come take a look at this. The corpse of the dead rabbit boss we defeated earlier. This is Heathcliff from the other world. I don't think we've ever seen this person before. Heavens, this is... Manoa? Miss Isabella, how could this... Isabella? Isabella, youngest sister. She came by this man a few times along with Linton. They overrode Linton's sister with Heathcliff's identity? It wasn't even real. We lost him. This technology they're using to summon identities. It's definitely a lot like our own. There have been a total of 4 separate instances of lightning strikes. Rousseau was the first to break the silence. The most logical course of action, to protect it for our company, would have been to wait until the golden bow became available to us, just as Linton had suggested earlier. What? In the bond went for the 7th strike of lightning at cowards? What a helpful lot you are. They can count a few words of encouragement. You know what? Should have done that from the start. It's foolish for me to even allow me to finish, Heathcliff. I'm beginning to feel the need to practice hastening my speech. We have experienced consistent escalation of our feeling by moving about the manor. Moreover, it is growing increasingly difficult to ensure Heathcliff's safety. Therefore, in conclusion, Rousseau paused for a moment. I judge that we may have to stop the lightning from striking. Even with that decision leads to our failure to obtain a golden bow. Everyone fell silent, deep in thought after hearing Rousseau's judgment. It wasn't a decision based on cold, hard facts that we had come to expect from him. Agreed. It never appeared that the lightning strikes were a result of natural phenomena. No one struck the most dramatic moments. It was uncertain trigger killed the manor's power without fail. Okay, let's think about this. Think about the circumstances. Johnny struck lightning. First one was, at the funeral, when they were reading Catherine's will. Now, get a bit more specific than that. It was when Heath called out Catherine's name. The second one was when Linton said something hurtful to Heathcliff, on that verbal abuse. The third was when Henry drew his last breath, and thus all is ruined. Linton's exhausted voice broke through our musings. He looks across the destroyed laboratory, the corpses and the husks of the dead Catula. There's a hollow look in his eyes. His face, already so sallow, had lost even more of its color. But he stood tall. Linton's gaze lingers for a moment at his sister's mangled corpse before moving toward Catherine in the coffin. Isabella, my dearest sister, is this how our union was to be? It was like just yesterday that you left our home without a word. Didn't even write to each other? She did send me a few childish letters. Then she met her fated partner. She found a true love. But she couldn't possibly introduce me to this person. That would surely refuse to give my blessing. You don't understand what you've done? I merely follow the path laid before me. The lightning has struck 4 times. Yeah, we know. We know how to count, you know. Executive manager, tell from the way the man is speaking, you may know the conditions that trigger the lightning strikes. I spoke plainly without even trying to lower her voice. Lightning strikes. Each strike of lightning is a blessing. For it signifies that you have a place in her heart. Linton looked straight toward Heathcliff, and I could finally see his face clearly for the first time. It wore the expression of deep, bottomless pain. It didn't change the fact that Linton was still extremely suspicious, and had quite a lot of things to answer for, but it also began to sink in that he was a man who was grieving for someone he loved. I liked you, Heathcliff. Our marriage was never happy, but I've spent my entire life struggling to earn a place in her heart. Knocking and knocking so she would let me in. Yet there was nothing. She never once gave me an answer. Even now, she remains silent. Linton, nothing. Now that justifies the atrocity you've committed in building this abominable laboratory. I've given some thought to how so many people could disappear without even a shred of evidence. Trump said the gangs kidnapped them by force. There were no signs of resistance. There have also been cases of simultaneous disappearances, so there was even an entire family that disappeared all at once. You actually read the whole article? Then it can be reasoned they weren't taken against their will. It'd be more believable to say that they followed their would-be kidnappers willingly. Which means the kidnapper was someone well-known. Someone with decent reputation. What, did you offer them a job at the manor? Promise to treat them to a nice meal or something? An experiment to produce a human, or so it was called. I cannot imagine a single human being for whom these heinous experiments, all the sacrifice and suffering, would have been worth it for. Master Linton, even if it was Catherine asking you to do this to... What? Oh, Catherine. She asked you to do this? No. It's impossible. Linton received the sinner's deluge of resentful accusation with an unstirring expression. Yes, I'll not deny that everything was by Catherine's request, but it was by my will that every one of her requests was carried out to the letter. I'm asking you what? Why never mattered to me, so I never asked her. All I ever cared about was my endlessly endeavoring to carry out her wishes, to do as I was told. Yeah, so why? With your family's wealth, you could just live out the rest of your days in complete luxury with money to spare, so why? Shouldn't he could be made aware of what just transpired here? Please be subject to a high degree of punishment, even if your family name were to mitigate. You ask me why? Is it not obvious? Because I loved Catherine. Since the moment I laid my eyes upon her, to this very day, I've spent every single moment of my life pining for her. You're just desperately begging for her affection, blinded by your own obsession. Speak ill of me as you will. I care not. Because my joy comes from what morsel of affection she spared me. So you have no idea how much I envied you, Heathcliff. You envied me? You! Even in her youth, when I come to spend time with Catherine at this manor, she would always ask me the same question. I wonder where Heathcliff has gone to. I wish he was here. Of course he must have been hiding from her, if you not bear the sight of us. And believe it or not, it was not I who burned your letters. In truth, I would have delivered them to her myself had I hands on your letters, because that was how desperately Catherine was wishing for your news. Once you left Catherine, she started to stuff off in her room, refused to eat, and withered away, gazing into a mirror day and night, until one day, she calmly emerged from that very room and asked for my hand. Mirror. She wrote the same thing in the diary. She saw herself in the mirror. Yet we kept no mirrors in the manor we lived. The mirror she looked into was, according to her, a gift. A gift from who? If you would ask to know, if you'd like to know what she saw in that mirror, what it was that she saw that prompted her to ask to marry me, why don't you ask the diary yourself? Ask the little diary that remains an obstinate silence before me. I do love, again, I mentioned it's a slow burn, and we are starting to get to the part where, like, that burn is finally starting to hit in. And by God, is that good. We'll switch back to our T-Corp goobers in order to get the event continuing to roll along. Go you, we'll go you. Like that. That works. That works just fine. You're gonna fight us? Dare stay? If you seek to disturb this experiment, then it falls to me to stop you. Don't even look to gain for this. We're going this far. Same thing as always. I love Catherine, and though I shall do as she wills me to. That I may enter her room. I do not wish to become a master of it. I merely wish that she would let me in. I wish that the sight of the open door, that little gesture, would be more than enough. The thunder of every lightning that struck the manor was the sound of her breaking heart. With every heartbreak the lightning strikes, the pain, the bereavement, the shock, are all manifest as lightning, then darkness. Thus the lightning on the ages of the person in question was so important to her. Heathcliff, I think. Nellie was right. Catherine's still alive. It wasn't exact science or anything like that, but I've been feeling that gaze coming from somewhere within the manor. Not an aggressive gaze, no, but it was certainly stubborn and lingering. I don't actually think Linton shows up in this fight. See, I do have my my main account on just to check what important battles are, and I don't see Linton on this, but it could be wrong. I feel like I could have sworn remembering seeing Linton, and this would be a reasonable time to fight him. Whatever. Not a particularly difficult fight. There was actually something I had entirely forgot about, but I will get into that in the next fight. Because pretty much from here on out, it's basically all mini-boss fights at least. So there isn't anyone left. I won't last much longer. That's how I was born. How I've lived my entire life. Yeah, glad to know that. So why don't you admit my sins and surrender? What would any of that ever matter to me? Linton looks up with a lighter expression, as though a burden has been lifted from his shoulders. This is as far as I will go. Then, with the gentlest voice, he began speaking to someone. His voice was overflowing with intense, fervent affection. As I have always told you, I have no regrets. I merely think that we were both walking in different paces. You always happened to walk ahead of me. It's even a sight of you from behind, sending butterflies in my stomach. And will die without needing appropriate medical attention from a professional doctor. It's extremely weak. Still, Catherine, I wish you would. I wish my death would bring you even a trace of sorrow. Even before I first laid my eyes upon that child, Linton, he was watching me, unable to look away, even for a moment. The child's worthy. It was just like the Prince Charming from fairy tales of my childhood. And he loves me so, so much. See, his eyes glimmer like the very stars of the night sky with every second he lays them upon me. I love Linton who loves me. His eyes that twinkle for no one else but me. His flaxen locks that flow for no one else but me. His radiant smile that flashes for no one else but me. Linton, who finds happiness through nothing else but me. Light returned to the manor when I could finally see again. There stood Linton wearing the brightest, happiest smile I'd ever seen. The machines in the laboratory will enter his body. Did you hear the thunder? Catherine weeps for me. Catherine! Linton must have every strength in his body and reached out toward Catherine's coffin. What are you? So now is the right moment to... Stop! I saw tears of joy rolling down his cheeks, but... they were his flesh beginning to melt off his face. Even if you will not permit me into your chambers, it's alright. I will await you within these walls forevermore. And to bring forth a pure form of humanity that once existed. It's quite a simple task. You never had any talent for culinary arts, you sang? As you won't understand. Any kind of identity could safely and securely be applied to it, as long as the dough is in its purest form. What happened to Linton? Can't you see? We've given dough, batter, pure being, free of dregs. That will always yield the finest results, regardless of what other ingredients you mix into it. Call that mass of flesh human? No. Creation of a new human is but a stepping stone in that process. Their ultimate goal must be to go even further beyond that dough. They seek to reach the very origin, the primordial human. It is but a part of that process, being an experiment along the way. Oh. Consider yourself fortunate there aren't any others to thrive in research to see other than myself. Dr. Ellen and all the other higher-ups heard what you said. I'm sure they'd be pulling all kinds of strings to take you in. Mother. Damn it, I knew that one would be the dough. The being you referred to as human. I presume that one could apply any integral any possibility, no matter how distant and irrelevant the world of that being. Yes, you son. I knew you'd be most overjoyed to hear this breakthrough. The iPix what mere technology is capable. Now all I've left to do is leave from that iPix. Soul beyond its limits. What we know, there is another golden bowl located inside the manor. This dough is part of an experiment that we conducted with only a preposterous magnitude of energy output. So the golden bowl to accumulate that much energy must be located on the rooftop of this manor. Correct. The golden bowl acts as a lightning rod. Drops the merciless, strikes lightning, turns it into a form of energy for itself. Your breadth of knowledge is starting to get unsettling. And now that everything's in order, I really must make my exit. Not so fast. I'll get you and find out everything you know about what my mother is playing. Please, not waste each other's time by playing this pointless game of cat and mouse. When perfected identities is applied over a day, one such opaque, murky mist emerges. What a picturesque moment. Most often be your farewell, is it not? Your Dermot's son, was it? Are you a veteran of the smoke war? And perhaps this may be a familiar sight to you, if it's hard different in few places. And you saw, my dear fellow? Live. I may have ought to look forward to in the time I've lived. Definitely wasn't the same voice I used from the first time we encountered Asaya, but oh well. Too bad. It's the voice he has now. The Wild Hunt. Finally actually getting to stuff with the Wild Hunt, and things will start clicking into place. Perfected identity? What is he talking about? He's coming back. He feels now fully primed. Yes, I've returned! I, whose existence itself has become a sin, have returned to put an end to us all. You, accursed beast, infernal demon, you finally come to take our manor, have you? Mistress, I should not let that interloper who dared to stain the honor of our manor. Every Wuthering Heights, at the end of all things in every world, eventually became mine. Every single death Hindley and Linton suffered was pathetic and writhing, and that should be an immutable truth for all eternity to come. Thus, Josephine, it is only right that you are mine as well. You are bound to heed my commands. Mistress, this vagabond, he's... I tired of ramblings of your mistress. She's nothing but a rotten corpse, her flesh decayed and bones desiccated. Josephine fell limp and motionless in Heathcliff's grasp. Josephine! Hindley! Langton! All their pitiful souls tangled and fettered into this their cursed destiny in every world! I have seen you far too many times in far too many worlds! I shall take you from here. You pitiful souls remain bound to wuthering heights, even in death! The husks of dead Picatula, Lintons, Hindleys, Josephines all began to materialize and rise. They began to form a procession. Like countless bodies, husks, the wailing things in their wake, all join the march. Thus approaches the final chapter of this tale. The other Heathcliff stands on the vanguard of the march, and lifts Catherine's coffin to his back. You can't do that, Catherine! Fine! I suppose we could play a game. It's been a while, hasn't it? Remember, we used to play games with Catherine on the rooftop of this manor. Why not reminisce upon that sweet memory, If you wish to join us, pursue me! Pursue me and rise to the stairwell until your strength fails, Heathcliff! Heathcliff takes a step forward to seize him, but the endless march stands in his way. Oh, but it will not be that easy, nor should it be. Your heart toward Catherine shan't be realized so painlessly. You must suffer more, let desperation consume you. Become frenzied in your pursuit. The rooftop. Indeed, the rooftop house is the Golden Bough. The two Golden Boughs come to physical contact with one another. They only think about 1,000 different outcomes. I don't know what he's planning to do with Catherine, but we have to stop him. We have to! Our trigger's been cut off. No way forward, no way back. Are they Hindley, Linton, and Josephine from other worlds? They appear to be imperfect identities, some from worlds chosen at random. It is the fate that awaits all those who become thralls to that Heathcliff, a phenomenon in which a mirror world entity wreaks havoc across the dimensions in pursuit of every Heathcliff. In other words, the Wild Hunt, like a nocturnal march of 100 demons. Is no one to them? He is the conduit that has brought them all to this world. He leads the army at its vanguard as Erlkönig, or the Erk. The army will never stop until the Erlkönig's orders are withdrawn. A brutal tempest descends. So generally this Heathcliff is referred to as Erlking, while Wild Hunt is Wild Hunt. Kind of shocked that he doesn't have any dialogue for our first fight with the Wild Hunt. Wild Hunt enemies are the same as their original ones. Now, something I forgot to mention. From this point on, normal Heathcliffs will have a different status, that being determination. One attack, gain 1 offense level up 3 times per turn, and then at negative SP, gain 3 attack power up. So it's the same as bereavement, but you don't have the SP loss. At this point, we have Pouring Wrath. We'll heal 10 SP at the end of every turn. We gain offense level up. We gain attack power at less SP, and if we have Dullahan, we gain even more damage up at the cost of the defense level down. Yeah, we'll fight right away. We'll go into it. The Wild Hunt fights are on the tougher side, but I mean, I still don't think they're the most tricky things out there. But they are still fights with, there are still many boss fights, saying that we do have, for example, the Hindley Oaken Wild Hunt right here, who is a bit on the spooky side, but not particularly so. I mean, he is roughly the same, but at this point he is just dead. It makes no difference if someone is wild hunted or not, but still, it is just, it's something to keep in mind that we do have some tough fights regarding the Wild Hunt round about these perks. We'll just bop him on the head with some Requiem. Not too bad. Again, I don't think, like, this fight in particular isn't the most difficult thing in the world, considering that we have already faced off against Hindley, and Dead Rabbits. So it's nothing that we haven't faced before at this point, but the Wild Hunt is just a very cool concept. I do know that there is actual mythology behind the Earl King and the Wild Hunt. Shockingly, the mythology guy does not know those off the top of his head. Probably should have done a little bit of research into that, but whatever. If I did full research, that would mean that I would have to read all the books, and that's a lot. Unlike some of them, I could read Metamorphosis. Hell's Green Ryoshu's wouldn't be too unreasonable. The main one that is unreasonable is Dream of the Red Chamber, Hong Lu's fucking massive book. That no thanks. I'm good. I don't particularly want to read all of that, but regardless, we still are, again, Henley is mostly just a damage sponge. He's not particularly tricky in any of his roles. But the Wild Hunt fights do last a little bit of a long time, so you can potentially be attritioned out of them. That is a possibility. Not necessarily a likely one, but it's a possibility. Also, Josephine's here. Yeah, Josephine of the Wild Hunt does also show up in this. Oof. Oh, sorry, that's Ool. I thought it said oof and ois. But yeah, this fight is a little bit trickier than either of the initial two, just because of the fact that we have both Hindley and Josephine. I would say Josephine's a little tougher than Hindley, even if just for the fact that she can inflict sinking. That's not a negligible fact, that she can do sinking. Not necessarily like the most important thing in the world, but it's not unimportant either. The sinking is something that can potentially be a bit of a worry, so do keep that in mind. It's nice that she joins in later so that we have time to ramp up in order to take her on, but yeah, a bit on the tricky side, but there's plenty worse. Ugh. That will be her down. Not too much difficulty on that. Yeah. Again, Nat fights, it's the easiest of the Wild Hunt fights, but it's not easy per se, as much as I just went right through it. But with us leveling up, that will do it for this time, and next time we continue on with facing off against the Wild Hunt. But until then, see you guys later!